Sup everybody, man, it's your boy Mr. Dugai coming at y'all with another episode of Dropping Downs with Mr. Dugai. Man, and today I'm going to talk about the big trade that's going to take place. You have the Boston Celtics basically sending Kemba Walker and a first round pick to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Al Horford and another guy. Sorry, I don't remember the guy's name. We don't really know much about him. And another player. But before I get into this video, man, for everyone, if you want to give me a follow on my social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, I'm going to have all that information down in the description box. May not always get a chance to respond to questions and comments on these videos, so feel free to DM me. And whenever I get a chance to, I'll get back at you. Come holler at your boy, though. Wow, well, we wasn't expecting this this morning, yo. Brad Stevens just becomes the GM of the Boston Celtics, president of basketball operations, with basically is the GM, the role that Danny Ainge had for this team. He got basically promoted from head coach to this role, which is a move that a little bit of controversial, a little bit of head scratching, where some people honestly thought that Brad Stevens might even be on the chopping block, you know, on the hot seat as a head coach, and then he basically gets a promotion. Something I've never recalled seeing before, a coach head coaching a team, and then the following year is the team's, you know, quote unquote GM. And this move is very telling to me, yo. It lets me know a couple of things about Brad Stevens. It lets me know that, for one, he really misses Al Horford. Like, he really valued him. He valued his, you know, his veteran presence, and of course his low post defense. Now he is a couple of years older, you know, than he was last time he suited up in the Boston Celtics uniform. But I think that's somebody that he really values. And I said it last year when my Heat played the Celtics, that they was missing a guy like Al Horford. Not necessarily for production, but, you know, which obviously he's a good defender and can score and all that. And he's been an all-star in this league. But from a veteran leadership, I mean, you got guys like Kemba and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. You know, they've been in the league for a few years or whatever, but they didn't have that one veteran that could just be like, okay, everybody, let's calm down, let's get it together, and let's get this thing done. So they didn't have that, and obviously I think Brad Stevens, he values that. Unless it's a move, in my opinion, I think he misses him. Unless, of course, it could be a move to just get rid of Kemba Walker's contract, which I'm going to get into what I think Brad Stevens thinks about Kemba Walker in a little bit. But unless that's a move just to get rid of Kemba's contract, and then he'll, you know, buy out Al Horford or whatever, which Al Horford got a bad contract also that the Philadelphia 76ers had gave him, that's still floating around on his name. So, you know, it could be one of those two things. But me personally, I think Brad Stevens really missed a guy like Al Horford. Speaking of the 76ers, I remember a few years ago when the Boston Celtics beat the Philadelphia 76ers in the second round. I remember Al Horford did an interview and was just gushing about Brad Stevens, the type of plays that he called in the huddle, and just his calling, like he's a genius basically. So I feel like that, you know, Al chased the money. You know, he went to a team that at the time he felt like was a contender, and he could have get more money. So, you know, I understand it from his standpoint, but I think both sides miss each other. As far as Kemba Walker, yo, this lets me know that Brad Stevens is not a huge fan of him, obviously. It's funny whenever you, it can't be more clearer than this. Whenever you coach a team, okay, and you're coaching players, and the first time you get a chance to basically get rid of players or sign players or bring players in, I mean, the NBA playoffs still going on. You know, this could have been announced in the offseason. This could have been announced after the finals. This could have been announced around the NBA draft. I mean, that just let me know Brad Stevens couldn't wait to get Kemba Walker out of a Boston Celtics uniform, yo, which is probably one of the main things that he discussed with Danny Ainge, or if not discussed, one of the main things he thought about when he got this job was like, look, this guy is always somewhat banged up. He plays absolutely no defense. I want to get rid of him. Now, with that being said, Brad Stevens now has a little bit of a reputation of, constantly switching point guards. First they had Isaiah Thomas, who in a Boston Celtics uniform was a very good player. In my opinion, even an MVP candidate. He had a tragic incident losing his sister. They turn around and but even before that, they had Rajon Rondo. Even before that, Rajon Rondo was still there when Brad Stevens, was at the later, was just starting out. Obviously, Rondo is not gonna, listen to this new young college coach, so that had to be what that had to be. Then they brought in, Isaiah Thomas. They trade him for Kyrie Irving. Obviously, the Kyrie Irving, he gets injured. They got scary Terry Rozier, who out there I thought played well, but you got Kyrie Irving. So Terry Rozier back to the bench, he goes. And then Kyrie Irving just did not work out in Boston. So he ends up, going about his business. And then you trade Scary Terry for Kemba Walker, and now they're going to be looking at another point guard again. Whether it's, do they draft somebody, or do they try to pull off a trade for like a Dame Lillard or somebody like that of that nature, of that stature? What is the Boston Celtics going to do at the point guard position? For Kemba Walker, I'd be frustrated that you're going to Oklahoma City, but I don't think he's going to end up staying there long term. I think that eventually he may eventually end up with the Los Angeles Lakers. Whether it's, I don't know if OKC gonna quite buy him out because it's such a big contract, but probably mid-season or after a few weeks or whatever, they could possibly pull off a trade. I mean, they're looking for a bunch of draft picks and young players. They could probably unload Kemba Walker to the Los Angeles Lakers for like a THT, a Kyle Kuzma, and maybe a Montrezl Harrell, somebody like that. And the Lakers could bring in Kemba Walker, who, Kemba Walker is a guy that the Lakers coveted him a couple of years ago. And also, it would be a good fit for both sides. Obviously, Dennis Schroeder is not getting it done as a starting point guard, for a championship contending type of team. So Kemba Walker could go in there with LeBron James, Anthony Davis, give them another definite scoring threat, on the perimeter, and that could get buckets. So I think ultimately Kemba Walker is going to end up, one way or another, he's going to end up with the Los Angeles Lakers. Whether the Oklahoma City Thunder swallow their pride and buy out that huge contract that he has, or, they pull off a trade wherever, THT and like a Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, and maybe they throw one other person in there, who knows, could go into that trade, go back to Oklahoma City for the Lakers to get Kemba Walker. That's something that I don't think Kemba Walker plays this entire season, the entire 2021-2022 season with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I just do not see that at all. I think Oklahoma City look at him as a trading piece for some younger players and maybe even another, though it's a late, but another, first round draft pick. But yeah, Boston Celtics trade Kemba Walker to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Al Horford, and trade Kemba Walker and a first round pick for Al Horford and, another guy, another young center or whatever. I apologize, I don't remember the guy's name. Let me see if I can remember this guy's name. Moses Brown. They traded him for Moses Brown. I apologize to Moses Brown. I know he probably not watching this video, but if he is somehow, shout out, welcome to the channel, Moses Brown. And I apologize I ain't mentioned your name, but they traded him for Moses Brown also. So we're gonna see what happens. That lets me, like I said, know Brad Stevens was not a Kemba Walker fan. I mean, he got rid of him as soon as he could have, and I think he really values Al Horford's low post defense and veteranship. But with that being said, that's all I got for y'all today. Appreciate y'all checking out the video. Hit the like button for your boy. Give me a subscribe. I'm going to have Miami Heat and NBA content throughout the year. Also, this coming also on Monday and Thursdays. I do a live Q&A at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 4 Pacific for an hour. Y'all come on there, ask me anything, tell me anything. I answer your questions, respond to your comments, and give you a shout out on the live. A good way for me to connect with everyone. It's pretty fun, and I enjoy it, yo. So y'all come check me out, yo. Monday and Thursday, 7 Eastern for an hour. Until then, yo, y'all have a blessed one. Let's go.